Hello everyone, I'm here to show you a few apps you can use for mapping on your motorcycle. You can see here I've got my cell phone, it's a 5.5-inch phone hooked up on a ram mount to my bike handlebars. I use 3 maps primarily for use on the bike. I use Google Maps either offline or when I have cell phone service. I use the Here app and I use Backcountry Navigator. There's one other that I use occasionally, it's called OSMand. It doesn't have a good search function, but it can read GPX files, so I use that occasionally. But primarily I'll be using Google and the Here app. So the main difference between the two, Google you can offline some of the area you want to travel to, but it's not quite as nice as the Here app. Both of them have a search function, so you can search for coffee, restaurants, whatever you want to look for, they can do that. And they'll give you auto-routed directions just like a Garmin Nuvi would with voice guidance. It's similar to that. The OSMand works sort of like a big map with your position on it. You can search for places and have it route you there, but it's really not very good. It's kind of clunky and it's frustrating. Backcountry Navigator is going to be a map, topo map with your position on it with some really basic GPS functions. You can set some waypoints and you can tell it to go to those waypoints and it'll point a line toward your waypoint. So it works as a basic GPS as well, if that's what you need. It works really good with GPX routes that you build on something like GPS Visualizer or the Hill Map software, which are both free online. You can load those GPX files into Backcountry Navigator US topo maps and follow them for ATV trails or dirt roads, logging roads, stuff like that that may not be on a map. So we'll start with the street applications, Google Maps. We'll open that up. You're probably familiar with Google Maps if you've used this on the internet ever. Set that north up. You can use satellite mapping. You can't offline the satellite mapping, but you can use it if you have cell signal. You can, however, offline your regular mapping, and we can do that by selecting the area where you know you're not going to have cell signal, or if you're just using this phone as a navigation device and you'd never intend to put a SIM card in it. Just go ahead and find the area you need to go. We'll go over to the Adirondacks here. There's no cell phone signal for the most part in most areas out there. So select the point where you want to center your map or a town, just click on it. Bring up this window here. The 3 dots up in the upper right corner, click on those, click download offline area, and you're going to have to pan this map until it fits. I'm going to center it up there with north up. You can see it says download to large, that little triangle with the exclamation point. So just zoom it in a little bit. There you go. That's about the size you can download. So the entire Adirondack region. Hit download, it's going to offline everything. It retains the search function. So while you're out there with no signal, no wireless, you can still search for a restaurant to go to and click on it. It will take you there with auto-routing directions. So it's nice. It's just limited in the area you can use. Now you can go ahead and offline, side by side chunks of this, get a whole state if you want to. For your local rides, it works good. You could do that probably for the whole country, but it would be a little tedious, I think, to do that piece by piece. I mean, you could if you have time, but that's not something I do. For that, you have something called the Here app. So we'll close out Google Maps. All right. We're going to go over to the Here map right there. I should mention that you can rotate this thing and do it in landscape mode too, if that's what you prefer. I kind of like the portrait view myself. So here you go, this is the Here app. We'll zoom this out. Now this is going to have maps similar to Google Maps in quality. It also has the search function, which you can use offline, and you can offline an entire country into this easily. It will select the whole thing for you. Just tell it I want North America, it'll select all of North America, and you can offline that. So you retain all the maps for North America, plus a search function for finding restaurants, gas stations, whatever in there, addresses if you want to navigate places, all without having Wi-Fi or cell phone signal. So the Here app is great. It's also free. Maps are free. Definitely get this app for when you either don't want to take the time to offline Google Maps or you just want to use something different than Google. You can use Here. All right. That's the Here map. If we search for anything, let's say we want to go to Boston, Massachusetts. We'll click there, type in Boston. All right, Boston, Massachusetts, it'll take me there. It's gonna set up a search. We wanna go to Boston. So grab that. That's where we want. Hit the navigate button. It's going to bring up a couple different routes for us. I think it brings up car and walking options. Not that I want to walk to Boston anytime soon. All right, there you go. It could take 5 days to walk there, or we can drive there in 8 hours and 8 minutes. I will pick driving. So here you go. It's similar to Google Maps. It'll give you 3 different options. You can just swipe this and select the one you want. Go ahead and click start on the one when you find it. If you have cell phone signal, you'll have traffic information as well for this.
After 0.2 miles, turn right.
There you go. It's going to give you 3D mapping like Google Maps. Interface is pretty similar. You can do turn by turn if you just select that button there, or the regular map. So here Maps is a great option. Much easier to offline the entire country offline, and it's also free. So we'll close that out and move on to the next one. All right, we'll give you a quick glimpse of OSMand right there. Now this one is a great moving map. The OSMand, the open street maps that it derives its mapping from, are really nice. You can see they're color-coded for the speed of the road, the speed limit I should say. So interstate blue, red for some secondary roads, yellow, and those are all coded by speed. So you can see if you bring your map out, you're going across country. I've used this across country multiple times. You can see right away this red line is a faster road, and some of these are going to be like that one's slightly faster, yellow's slightly slower. Depending on what you need or what you want a twisty back road, you can find them pretty quick with this. And that'll be nice. The color coding helps. All the maps are free for this. You can also offline them each by state. You can add some hill shading, which makes a kind of a 3D effect on the terrain. You can add contour lines onto it, and all of that's offline, all of that's free. So in order to do it, you just have to go into the app itself. You have to download those. You go up here, hit that button, manage your map files, hit it, all downloads, and you can see here, these are all the maps you can select. I've already offlined North America on here, so we can go to the US, and there you go, state by state. You can see I've already done it, so it's got the version and the date that I did that, in case you need to update them. So good source of free mapping. The navigation search function for this is terrible. You can try it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it just, generally the voice guidance isn't very good. I'm not really impressed with it. It does have it, it's just not as good as here or the Google Maps application. One nice thing with this, you can't do with here or Google Maps though, is you have a GPX record or follow function. So you can open up a GPX file, follow the line, or you can record a GPX file of your tracks with this. So that's a nice feature that OSMand has and the others don't. Go ahead and close that out. Okay. We'll show you Backcountry Navigator. All right, Backcountry Navigator coming up. Now this is my go-to for topo maps. I actually have nautical charts on here because I had that up out of curiosity earlier. You can look up nautical charts for anywhere on the coast. Let's see if we can get you to the coastline. All right, there we go. So if you're into boating, this is a good option as the standard nautical charts that you'd have on much more expensive boat GPS. So you can offline these as well. And you can see there it's Gloucester Harbor. Pretty nice to have nautical charts as an option, but we're not going to be riding the motorcycle out in the water. So we'll bring it over to topo maps. Now, you can use imagery, which you can offline, nautical charts. You've got Europe on here, worldwide charts. I'm going to go to USA Topo. You've got some Cal Topo 24Ks, ArcGIS, Cal Topo with slope shading. Some of these are premium, you can see. You have to pay a little bit more for those, but they're kind of an enhanced premium map. They don't cost too much, but you can get them for a year if that's what you'd like. You got Forest Service maps. This also has a Bureau of Land Management maps that you can get for it. So pretty nice. We'll go to the ArcGIS maps right here and open those up. So you can see we've got the topo maps now, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit further. So you can see Gloucester Harbor. It's got that nice shading, all your topos right there. So this is really nice. I use this for ATV trails, logging roads and stuff like that I want to navigate, or GPS tracks. Now you can go ahead and select a waypoint there, create a waypoint, name it if you want to, and then you can navigate to those and store them in memory. So it has some basic GPS functionality if you want to use it for hiking or navigating to a specific point on the bike. You can do that. All right, so that's Backcountry Navigator, a quick look. We'll cancel that out. One last one that I didn't mention in the beginning is Rever. I use that as well. It's got a really nice mapping interface that you can go to on their webpage. It's rever.co. And you can go ahead and make your maps on that. You can make a route, and it will go right into this. Now, it doesn't follow auto routing like Google Maps or the Here app does, but it will show you a line on the map, and you can follow that GPX line. The main advantage of this is just the planning. You can go online. It's really easy to map routes off-road if they don't exist, and it's also tied into Google Maps. So if you click between points, it's automatically select a route for you. So it's pretty quick, pretty streamlined way to create a GPX file to navigate with. And you can use Rever's app, which will automatically sync with what you did on your desktop. So it'll save you time, or you can just take the GPX file out of it, put it into Backcountry Navigator or another app that you want, and do it that way. So you can see here the map. I can bring up some rides. You can see I've got some rides I did before that I recorded and some that I planned. You can click one of those, follow it again if you want to, if you got a favorite one. Some of those are saved using the tracking feature. Click that and it'll save a GPX track for you. So Rever is a pretty good app to have, mostly for the planning aspect of it. It also has the Butler maps if you pay for it to show you some suggested routes. So there you have it, a few of the apps. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of an overview of some of the options you can have on the phone. Moto G is probably the best choice for this, $149 for a second generation on Amazon right now in November of 2015. I would select that if you're going to use it as standalone without the cell phone service, or if you just want a phone. They're a good phone too. This Alcatel Idol 3 that you're looking at now is a 5.5-inch phone, has a really good screen on it. It's not waterproof, but has no issues seeing anything in the sunlight, which is something you need to consider because some of the phones don't have a very bright display. So do your homework before you buy it. Hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, put them in comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks, have a good one.